All right, hello again, G people. By request, I had a couple people ask me just to do a couple more examples on video that you haven't seen before. So I got a couple of these. What I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and pause the video right now. Write down these two examples on a piece of paper so you can work them out and try to work them out before I go through them. Because I'm going to try to make this a little bit of a quicker video. I'm still going to talk about the process and the steps. But you need to start trying to do these on your own and then just kind of checking your work. Okay, so pause the video, write those down, and then we'll start zipping through these things. Remember what our goal is. Our goal on all of these things, for the 2x2s at least, is to make them look, with a 1, 0, and whatever. That's going to be your x value, and then 0, 1, whatever, and then that's going to be your y value. Okay, so let's get going on this. So the first one, my matrix is going to be 6, 5, and 5, and 2, -1, and -17. Can't simplify anything, can't make anything smaller, so we're kind of stuck with that. So the first thing, we're going to make that 2 into a 0. So you think to yourself, how can I get them the same with different signs? And I can just multiply that bottom row by -3. So let's do that. In my notation, that's going to be R1. I'm going to combine that with -3 R2. And that'll be my new row 2. Okay, so just write that out. So 6, 5, and 5. And then multiply by -3 is -6, +3, and 51. Combine those up. So we got 0, 8, and 56. And notice I can divide both of those by 8, again, just to make the number smaller. And so that means it's going to be 0, 1, and 7. 8 times 7, 56. So that means my next matrix, my next step here is going to look like 6, 5, 5 on top. Remember, we haven't changed that. It's still saying what it is. And my bottom row is kind of what I want, right? So we have that. And now we do the same thing. So now we see, okay, I want to make this into a 0. And how do we do that? We can multiply that bottom one by -5 and then combine them that way. And then again, just see what happens from there. So that's going to be R1, combine that with -5 R2, and that'll be my new row 1. So again, write that out. And that's going to be 0 still, -5, and -35. And we're going to have 6 and 0 and -30, which again, I can divide those by 6. So I'm going to have 1, 0, and -5. And we are done because that tells us what our x value is. And our bottom row tells us what our y value is. So our solution is -5, 7. And we're done. Okay, now there is some flexibility there, and we'll talk about that in the next example too. As you get more comfortable, but again, the only way you're going to get more comfortable is by doing examples on your own and seeing how to manipulate the rows and combine them and get those zeros where you want them. So the last example, so again, we can't simplify anything, so I'm going to write my matrix. 5, -7, -6, 3, 4, and 21. Okay, and again, where do you start? That bottom guy right there. So we can multiply by, so again, we want the numbers to be the same, so I can multiply the top row by 3 and the bottom row by -5. Now you can switch those signs too. If you do the top row by -3 and the bottom row by 5, you'll still get the same final answer. Okay. So let's do that. So let's do 3R1, and we're going to combine that with -5 R2, and that'll be my new row 2. So let's zip through here. So we got 15, -21, -18, and then we have 9. 3 times, -5 times 3, -15, good heavens. -15, and -5 times 4, -20, and then -5 times 21 is -105. Combine those up, so we got 0, -41, and negative 123. And notice, even though they're big numbers, 41 times 3 is 123. So I can divide those by negative 41 to get a nice clean number. And we have 0, 1, and 3. Okay, and again, the only reason I'm making those smaller is we just want to see if they're small numbers. If you didn't recognize that, just try it out. See if 123 divisible by 41, and it is. So small numbers are good. And remember, this is our solution for y, and it's going to be a reasonable number. It's not going to come out to some kind of weird fraction. So my top row is still kind of what it was originally, and then 0, 1, and 3. And then my last step, remember, I want to make this into a 0. Now this one's a little bit easier because all I got to do is multiply that 1 by 7, and I'm going to have it. Because they're already different signs, and that'll be my new row 1. So we got 5, negative 7, negative 6, and 0, 7. 7 times 3 is 21. And we have 5, 0, and 15. And again, just like always, I can divide that by 5, by that leading number, and we get 1, 0, and 3. So my final matrix is going to be 1, 0, 3. My bottom line is 0, 1, 3. And that might say, oh man, is that right? Well, sure it is, because x and y in this case are the same thing, but it's still a solution. It's still what it is. So your final answer there is 3, 3. Okay. Make sure you're good with all of the 2x2 stuff. I will, like I say, in class today, we're going to start doing through the same exact process just for a 3x3. Okay. Until next time, stay safe.